One of the biggest surprises of E3 2021 was the announcement of a new 2D Metroid game called Metroid Dread. So this was introduced as Metroid 5, following on from Metroid Fusion, and the first new 2D Metroid game in nearly 20 years. Well, today I'm going to check out everything we know about Metroid Dread, plus a look ahead to its release on October the 8th, 2021. Well, there's plenty of history surrounding the Metroid Dread name. First reported back by IGN in 2005, there were rumours of the game's existence. However, it had a troubled development, and getting the project off the ground and out of concept proved difficult, causing the project to be cancelled or reworked a couple of times. But Metroid Dread is being developed by Mercury Steam, the same studio that made Samus Returns, and the project is being overseen by Yoshio Sakamoto, and Sakamoto has a history with the Metroid series. He served as the director for Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, and the Zero Mission 2. So Sakamoto recently said of his role on the project, "My role on Metroid Dread was similar to, or the same as, it was on Samus Returns when Nintendo of Japan and Mercury Steam worked together to be one team. They're different companies, of course, but we had one mind. Also, the same as Samus Returns, I was always in communication with Mercury Steam from a day-to-day basis, looking at the good and the bad and what they were producing for designs. I guess I was called the producer, but I was more involved on the creative side of things as well." So Nintendo showed off a lot of Metroid Dread at the Treehouse Live event after their E3 2021 presentation. So this new iteration of Metroid looks like it's in safe hands when it comes to the development team and Sakamoto working as the producer. It looks like classic Metroid, which fans have been wanting for years. Dread takes place straight after the events of Metroid Fusion, so Samus is investigating a transmission sent to the Galactic Federation. So once she arrives on the planet, she discovers the planet has been overrun with alien life. So as well as your standard space pirate type aliens, there's also the Emmys too. So these are almost invincible robots that patrol and prowl, chasing Samus as she makes her way through the areas, providing the dread as the title indicates. So Samus's weapons, they're no match for the Emmys at the start, so the only option is to run or hide. So this is Metroid brought up to the modern standards, and Samus is fast and fluid. Metroidvanias have been popular since 2017, with great games like Dead Cells and Ori, in which the movement and the attacks, they're fluid and they feel great, and this is the combination that has propelled some smaller studios to great success. For example, the combat in Dead Cells has a certain distinctive feel, and here, Metroid and Nintendo look to have upped their game by bringing Samus up to 2021 standards. So Samus looks fast, plus she's got some new moves to show off, and she's going to need all those moves and tricks up her sleeve because the Emmy robots aren't playing around. Metroid Dread keeps many of the useful features from Samus Returns, so there's the free aim mechanic and the melee ability, which is extra devastating if timed correctly. So this is one of the only ways that Samus can currently evade the Emmys. If she can time a melee attack right, there's a short window where she can escape, and although I understand there's a cannon power-up later on in the game that allows us to destroy the Emmys, this makes sense as we're going to have to work to get that kind of power. So the sense of dread or fear has been integral to the gameplay mechanic from day one, as Sakamoto described in an interview with Game Informer. And Game Informer, by the way, have loads of fantastic coverage on Metroid Dread. I would recommend going over there and checking out everything they've got to offer. So the dread mechanic is similar to the mechanic of a chasing invincible big bad found in Resident Evil games. So Mr. X or the recent Lady D are really good examples. And Sakamoto said this of the mechanic. So it's really about Samus encountering fear, but she actually stands against the fear, fights it, and beats it. And that part is really important. So as far as where the inspiration came from my wanting to take the game in this direction, it comes from the tension surrounding the SAX gameplay from Metroid Fusion, and also how we wanted to take the style of gameplay and put it into what was considered to be the normal Metroid gameplay to make an exciting experience. Metroid Dread does flip another convention on its head with the new game, so normally Samus will start on the surface of a planet and then venture down underground through a maze-like environment. This time, Samus starts in the middle of a maze and you have to find your way out to a ship. Other standard features of the genre are maintained where you have to find power-ups to upgrade your gear. You also have to find new equipment that's going to help you get to areas you couldn't reach before, and there's also going to be plenty of secrets for you to find and uncover too. The story and the lore is going to be really important to the game, and this is going to be presented in a few different ways, with the team learning from their experience in past games. Now I understand there's going to be a story catch-up mechanic for Metroid Dread, or the 5th mainline Metroid game, and Sakamoto also described the storytelling mechanics in the game too, and he went on to say, with Samus Returns we made use of cutscenes as well, and there were 3D cutscenes and 2D scenes as well that transitioned very seamlessly between the two. That helped us with showing expressiveness in the game, and we found that really effective in Samus Returns. In a similar way in Metroid Dread, we're going to use those to maintain a sense of tension and also expressiveness. Also, the story is very important in the game, so these cutscenes are going to be used to express the story as well. Well, the concept of Metroid Dread has been around for some time, but Sakamoto explained it was hard to realise his vision on the earlier hardware. You know, at the time we came up with the idea, the hardware really wasn't there, and the technological concepts weren't working with our vision, Sakamoto said. We had to put it on hold, and then sometime later we started again, but then we stopped for pretty much the same reasons. But thinking in terms of the specs that I had in mind, it was a bit difficult to realise that concept with that hardware, Sakamoto said. But Metroid Dread happens to be the first title released on the same day as the new model Nintendo Switch, which features a larger OLED screen. So it's a really exciting time for Metroid fans, and if you've got access to Nintendo Switch Online, you can go back and play the original Metroid via the NES Online, and also Super Metroid via the SNES Online Collection too. You can of course watch playthroughs, but there's nothing like experiencing the game for yourself. Personally, I'm not a fan of the Metroid Prime games, which did seem to pivot the series more towards a first-person 3D shooter. Metroid Prime 4 is still in development, which Nintendo reiterated during their Nintendo Direct at E3, and Metroid Dread looks to be returning to the series' roots, so I'm really hoping Nintendo is going to flex their design skills and really blow the Metroidvania competition out the water. We've had plenty of great Metroidvania games in the last few years, but I'm looking to Nintendo to really lay down that marker, and hopefully this will lead to more Metroid games either being remade or re-released on Nintendo Switch, so fans can easily play through that back catalogue and enjoy the story and gameplay that Metroid has to offer. So in case you can't tell, I'm really looking forward to Metroid Dread, and Metroid Dread releases on Nintendo Switch on the 8th of October 2021. Well, that is it for my look ahead to Metroid Dread. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIFG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again, and see you soon.